Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast. This mini-sode is coming to you with bite-sized inspiration designed to motivate you and rev up your mind, your brain, your body as you choose to think in terms of your emotional, spiritual, and physical health. The short format allows for a focused and targeted message that can help you quickly shift your mindset and approach to life. Be sure to check out all the products mentioned in the video. I'll put the links in the show notes and YouTube description. Now, let's dive in. And just like that, we're on the fourth R in the 7 R's for living your best thought life. The first R, recognize. Recognize what you're thinking about. The second R is resist. Resist those thoughts that are leading you into unhealthy emotional territory. The third R, replace. Replace negative, toxic thoughts with God's life-giving truth. And today, the fourth R is repeat. Yep. You will need to repeat the first 3 R's daily until that particular thought that you're attacking is de-energized in your brain. The time it takes to change a thinking habit can vary depending on several factors, such as who you are as an individual. You're unique. You have unique emotional challenges and strengths, and they're different than mine are, for example. What is a troubling thought to me may roll right off your brain with no damage done. But for me, I have to really go deep and try to attack it. The length of time it takes to change your thinking habits depends on the specific habit you're trying to break. If you're attacking a deeply held false belief or a stubborn heart root like fear, it may take more time than other pesky negative thought patterns you have, such as feeling entitled to zone out with Netflix every night after work. You get home and you're like, I've worked so hard all day. I'm just going to sit on the couch and I'm just going to eat ice cream and watch Netflix because I worked so hard and it's been a long day. And that's okay sometimes. But when you start having those thoughts a lot, day after day after day, that's a habit, a thinking pattern that you may want to interrupt. And that's what this episode is all about. We're going to talk about how to do that. But just keep in mind that the length of time it takes you actually to have success in overcoming that toxic thought or a thought that leads you in an unhealthy direction varies based on who you are. And it also varies based on the specific habit that you're trying to break or the thought that you're trying to get to the bottom of and disintegrate in your brain. Okay, here's another factor that impacts the time it may take to break specific thought habits. It's the level of effort and dedication that you put into it. Let me tell you from experience that I also had relief from negative toxic thinking about 3 months after I began the 7 R's method. And yes, I did repeat the R's daily for optimal success during that season of my life. And truthfully, I still do the 7 R's for living my best thought life. It works. It's amazing to me how quickly I can come up against those thoughts that are contrary to what God says about me, himself, and my situation. I've learned through time, through repetition, really how to get on the other side of that kind of thinking, which impacts my emotions and also negatively would impact my behavior. So now I'm not as mood swingish, if you will. I'm more stable emotionally, and I have troubling moments for sure. But after a few days, after journaling and processing and prayer, then I'm back on top of thinking thoughts that are leading me in a really healthy direction. I've heard it said that it takes about 66 days to break a habit. So figure that it's going to take you about 2 months of employing the first 3 R's, repeating them daily in order to find some modicum of success there or to start noticing that, hey, your brain is being renewed. But some studies actually suggest it may take closer to a year for some folks, depending on the factors that I already mentioned, the uniqueness of who you are, the specific habit you're trying to break, and the dedication and devotion involved to make the change happen. This process is like cleaning out a closet. Changing a negative thinking pattern is like going to your cluttered closet. Do you have one of those? And you're going to start sorting through all your belongings to get rid of the ones that no longer serve you. Same thing with your thoughts. You got to sort through your thoughts to get rid of the negative ones that are no longer serving you. And it's going to take time, but through repetition, it will work. Or, okay, you can look at it this way. It's like gardening. Changing a negative thinking pattern is like tending to a garden. Just Just as the gardener must regularly weed out the unwanted plants or the weeds to allow the desirable ones to thrive, you too must weed out those negative thoughts to allow all the positive ones to take root and grow. It's important to remember that change is not always linear, and setbacks and relapses are common. Boy, did I have a lot of those when I was coming through my acute bout of depression. Sometimes I thought, oh, 2 steps forward and 5 back, right? But through consistency, persistence, and patience, wow, those were really the keys to successfully changing my own thinking habits. And of course, we're going to get to the other 7 R's. So don't think that I've taken God out of the picture here, because I haven't. We're going to definitely rely on Him every step of the way. Okay, so what are things that you can do to help yourself repeat this process? Repeat the life-giving thoughts that lead you in healthy directions. Let me give you 5 ways to help. If you've been listening to the podcast long enough, you will know that my husband Jim and I are avid pickleball players. We love the game and play as often as possible. We even enjoy traveling a bit and competing in tournaments with our friends. When he bought me the Diadem Warrior paddle for my birthday, I felt like I'd hit the jackpot. He knows how to make a girl happy, all right. Suddenly, I had more force and return and serve impact from my smaller frame, and I experienced a whole lot more control of the ball. I really did feel unstoppable and like a warrior. The manufacturer, Diadem, says this paddle will give you exceptional stability, power, and reactivity. It's made from the highest quality carbon fiber face and grip paint surface for extra ball spin. The grip is exceedingly comfortable, plus you'll get expanded coverage with its overall length and huge relative sweet spot. I play with this paddle every time we play, and I've not gripped anything better, but it is quite pricey. So if you want something about half that price, try the Diadem Icon. That's the paddle that Jim prefers. He plays with that one, and he swears by it. I'll be sure to put all the Amazon affiliate links for these paddles in the show notes. Just click to take a look, and let's play ball. Pickleball, that is. Number 1, daily God affirmations. You hear a lot about creating affirmations of who you are, like I am valuable, I am loved, I am wanted. And that's great. And you can create a list of those positive affirmations, but I want to challenge you just a little bit further and make them God affirmations. Affirm in your mind who God is. What are His names? What are His characteristics? What are His traits? And then what you do is you're going to write those down on note cards. You might even want to study those. And every single day, you're going to repeat them to yourself, preferably in the morning or before going to bed, or both times is even better. And you know what? Teeny side note here. Make sure that whatever you believe, whatever you write, you actually believe. If you don't believe it, like if you don't believe that God is your tower, He's your refuge, He's your sense of strength and comfort. If you don't believe that, though the Bible says it's true, but you don't believe it, simply confess your degree of unbelief and that you don't believe it. And then ask God to help you believe what He says. He'll help you overcome your level of unbelief. He'll do it. And He's going to redirect you so that you can take full assurance when you write those God affirmations that not only are you declaring those every single day, but you also mean what you declare. Another thing you can do, number 2, is journaling. Write down your thoughts in a journal and reframe any negative thoughts into more positive, constructive ones. You can even write down life-giving thoughts that you want to focus on and refer back to them throughout the day. So you're writing and then you're rereading repeatedly through the day. How about using, this is the 3rd tip, Post-it notes. Place Post-it notes with scripture verses and affirmations of who God is or other life-giving thoughts in visible places around your home or your workplace, such as on your computer screen, your bathroom screen. Boy, I used to have those all over the place, because seeing those notes throughout the day can serve as a reminder for you to focus on life-giving, godly thinking. It really does help. And it seems like invariably, just at the time you need to be reminded of something, boom, you see that little sticky note. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's where I want to give my mental attention. That's what I'm going to focus on, because that is setting my mind on things above. That is fixing my eyes on Jesus, who's the author and perfecter of my faith. And boy, that will change your life. You do that repeatedly, you're going to live your life daily in a new, totally new way, and it's going to be awesome. So keep repeating it. Here's another tip. 4, you can actually use your phone to remind yourself of the truth leads or those life-giving thoughts that you want to foster and grow that lead you to the truth by typing in the new thoughts and then using your phone reminder app to ding, like ding, for you to read every hour. It's like a reminder, and your phone dings and you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I need to meditate on and just think about for a moment that God tells me not to fear and that I'm going to cast all my anxieties on him. Oh yeah, I want to do that right now. And so you're repeating that. It's a very easy way to repeat what is true in a very practical way also, because your phone is always around, and you're going to see it and you're going to read it, and it's going to be a direct hit, like a targeted hit to your brain when you do that. I personally did this, and boy, those reminders came in at just the right time. It was a good habit to start and to keep doing. I did it for months, actually. Another tip is visualization. Find pictures or images to look at each day that illustrate a life-giving thought for you. Go through those pictures every day and even multiple times to remind yourself of your new, healthier ways of thinking. So again, these are practical tips to help you repeat those life-giving thoughts and affirmations. Here's a bonus one. Sixth way is to use music. Start a songs playlist that is tailor-fit with truth to help you focus on what really matters each day. And then listen to those types of songs repeatedly to encourage your heart and remind you daily about what to think about the most. And your songs are going to vary depending on the season of life that you're in. So you can refresh that list as you need it, but then repeatedly listen to those songs. Let that truth wash over you again and again and again. It'll change your brain. It really will. Now, here's a story about someone who took another action to overcome negative thinking. Have you heard of Mel Robbins? Well, she's a motivational speaker and author, and she overcame her habit of hitting the snooze button and getting out of bed in the morning by using the countdown method of a rocket launch, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She then developed this concept into the 5-second rule, which is a tool to help you overcome your self-doubt, anxiety, and other limiting beliefs by counting down from 5 to 1 and then take action immediately toward their new thought, their new goal to propel you into action. This method helped Robbins change her own thinking habits and transformed her life. And she became a best-selling author and motivational speaker, inspiring millions of people worldwide. In other words, don't allow yourself to debate internally about who you are or what you can do in life with God's help. Instead, take action. Just get going. Start thinking the thoughts that line up with a biblical perspective. Okay, speaking of that, here's a biblical example. How about Joseph? He was the 11th son of Jacob in the Bible, and he overcame negative thinking patterns, and he rose to power in Egypt. Despite being sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, he forgave his brothers and used his position to help his family, teaching you and me that by trusting in God and maintaining a positive, godly attitude with eyes on God, that you too can overcome any challenge and achieve great things. So I want you to go out today and put into play those 3 R's for living your best thought life, and then repeat those daily and see what happens in your life. So thank you again for tuning into another episode of the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast. This was a little mini episode, short and sweet. And let me know if you like it and share the link with a friend. God bless you. You have a great day. And that's a wrap, Brain Changer. And listen, if you like what you hear, would you leave us a 1 to 2 sentence review at Apple Podcasts? Share the link with a friend or tag me on your share on social media. It would mean the world to me and would help us to keep shining the light of Christ and sharing the good news to others who are in need of encouragement. Please visit us on our website at choosetothink.co. That's with the number 2, choosetothink.co, to get on our monthly newsletter list. And if you need a guest speaker for your next women's retreat or church event, I'm your gal. Email me at choosetothink@gmail.com, and that's with the number 2, choosetothink@gmail.com. Finally, I offer limited free mentoring sessions each month where you and I can chat to help you develop a strategy for your thoughts in any area of your life. I'm a certified life coach and I have something to share. Visit choosetothink.co and click on mentoring for more details. Also, keep in mind that the messages on this show are for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult your medical doctor for all medical issues. Thank you again for tuning in. God bless you.